Hi. Hello. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Set a spell with me. It's another wonderful Wednesday, and it's early. Mr. Levi had me up at 6:15 this morning. So if you see a lot of yawning going on, that's why. I got about 5 hours sleep. But when I'm up, I'm up. And I thought y'all might want some TEMU news first thing today. And you might want to find out what I've been doing. And you might want to find out what's in this box that I got from TEMU. Whole bunch of stuff. So, welcome to Connie's Little Corner. Welcome, newbies. Welcome, returning viewers. Welcome, everybody. I hope you all had a magnificent Mother's Day. Ah, I have news to share. I do. But are you ready for some good news? Before I open this box or show you anything else, let's talk TEMU right up front. I know most of you, if not all of you, have already seen the news that the United States has decided to temporarily, that's the key word, temporarily suspend tariffs on imports, and all imports, not just TEMU, but all imports for 90 days. What does that mean? Y'all want to know what that means? Okay. What that means is that temporarily, until further notice, nothing is set in stone, TEMU has resumed direct ship to the United States, just as it was doing before the tariffs hit, before the you-know-what hit the fan. If you go and shop TEMU now, you will find that you now have access to things that are not just local. It will populate with things you can get direct ship. It will say when you bring up the item, it'll say free shipping. Now, here's a heads up. It does tell you that you may be subject to import taxes. You won't know that until you actually get to the point where you're ready to check out. If you scroll down, you submit your cart, all right? You start to check out on your cart. When it brings you to the next page, you have to scroll down, look at the receipt, and look at the tax amount. If that tax amount is exorbitant, you know you're getting hit with import taxes. If that tax amount seems normal, in other words, let's say the rate for your state is 8%, and you do the math and you say, okay, 8% of a $50 order is how much, and it works out, then you're not getting hit with the import taxes, which is a good thing. That's what I found this morning when I did a test order. Did I actually order anything? No, I just put things in my cart at random, went through the checkout process, but I never submitted the final checkout button to actually get these items. So I was not subjected to any import taxes, nor did I have a minimum order to meet. That's the other thing you have to watch for. TEMU, during this period, this 90-day, I don't know what to call it. It's like being in limbo. We'll call it the limbo period, okay? And I'm not talking about limbo going under the limbo bar. I'm talking about purgatory for shipping. So you may have to have a minimum order. Well, okay. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. TEMU is trying to appease their customers, trying to regain some ground. So they immediately opened up their system, and for them, it's just a flip of a switch. They opened up the system so you, as consumers, can go back to direct ship, get your items, not have to pay $2.99 shipping, not be restricted to local warehouses. We don't know how long this is going to last. It could last days. It could last the full 90 days. We don't know. Everything hinges on what the U.S. government decides to do about the tariffs. Right now, they're cutting China some slack. They did everything very quickly. Didn't really give anybody a heck of a lot of notice, which for you, me, and everybody worldwide, everybody deserves notice. If you're getting kicked out of your home, you get 30 to 90 days notice. You don't get 10 days notice, or you don't get 2 days notice. You get a reasonable period of notice. So TEMU now knows that they have 90 days, and I believe it was from either yesterday or the day before. I think it was from Monday. So they have 90 days to do whatever it is that they're going to do, make whatever plans they're going to make. So if you do want to shop the old-fashioned way for the U.S. consumers and get the direct ship from TEMU, go for it. Now's the time to stock up on all those things that you thought you had time to get under the old ways. There is no guarantee, and don't let anybody tell you that this is permanent. It is not. This is a 90-day reprieve, so to speak. Also, during that 90 days, what TEMU is doing is TEMU is going to be stocking and overstocking their local warehouses. Now, the local warehouses currently in the United States, as I said, there are three of them: California, Texas, and New Jersey. Those three warehouses are not full. They have a fair amount of product, but they don't have a lot of product because they don't have every vendor from TEMU is not on board with putting their products into the American market or into the local market. They're not comfortable for whatever reason, whether it's they don't believe that the people will pay the $2.99 shipping. TEMU still, for those vendors that are willing, TEMU is going to be bulking up their warehouses and stocking them to the brim with as much product as they can. And according to my source directly at TEMU, those vendors that use the local warehouse are negotiating with TEMU to try to figure out if there's a way that they can change it from $2.99 in order to maybe a lower minimum order other than $30 for free shipping, or a lower individual shipping cost if you're only getting one item from that vendor. Something a little bit more based on the United States shipping rates or postal rates. Some of you may have seen that a company called Uni is back in action. Now, when TEMU first started, Uni, UNI, was their primary carrier. When stuff hit the ground for the United States and Canada, Uni was out there trying to handle these thousands and tens of thousands of packages. And it became very overwhelming for that company. TEMU was getting a lot of complaints about packages being misdelivered, not delivered, coming so late that TEMU was handing out $5 credits left and right. I know myself, I got more than a dozen credits. Of $5 credits. That's a lot. That's $60 just for me. So imagine how much money they were losing from everybody else. So they had to step away from Uni for a while because they couldn't keep up. And they started depending more so on the postal service, the regular postal service, and UPS, FedEx, that kind of thing. Well, now that the logistics of shipping have been ironed out, Uni is back in the picture. For some people, they never left, but the way TEMU used them was drastically minimized. So a lot of people never got Uni ever again, but they're back. And TEMU is looking at delivery options, shipping options, things that will make local warehouse more inviting to U.S. consumers, right? Because there is no guarantee how long this reprieve from the tariffs will last. And when the tariffs go back in place, and the United States government has said, oh, there will be tariffs. There definitely will be tariffs. But they don't know if the tariffs will be 50%, 60%, 80%, 10%, 20%. They haven't decided. So until they decide, we have to work with what we've got. And right now, I don't know about you, but I'm a happy camper because right now, direct ship from China to the US is back on board with TEMU. I haven't checked Shine. It is it's a good thing, basically. That TEMU didn't wait and TEMU said, hey, let's get these people the products that they want. Let's do what we can for all our consumers. So I think that's really good news. And I thought that would be a great way to start this video. So when I'm done editing this and getting it uploaded, you all kind of guess what I'm going to be doing. I have a budget and I'm going to be spending it to get some more Temu items that I can get. And, if I have to have a minimum order of $20, I think I'm not going to have a problem getting a $20 order together. I also, I'm not concerned about how long it takes, but I am thinking, okay, how many orders can I do in 90 days? Yeah, it was a great way to find out. First thing, and it was weird because I got an email 1 o'clock in the morning from my rep that said, and all it said basically was, check your Temu account, direct ship is back. That's all it said. Well, when the alert went off at 1 o'clock this morning and it woke me up, guess what I was doing at 1 o'clock this morning? Yeah, I was checking. Okay, so now y'all can go and check. I've given you as much information as I have. All the national news sources are carrying this story, whether it's CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, Fox News, everybody and his mother is carrying this. You can go to USA.gov and you can see right on the government website that this information is out there. This is factual. This is what's going on. And you can see for yourself simply by trying to shop something that's not local. Okay? Just remember, check your total before you submit it. It does forewarn you there might be import taxes. If you do see import taxes show up, I have no idea why, if you're in the US and I'm not seeing it, and maybe somebody else hopefully is not seeing it, I don't know why you would see it. If you do see import taxes, contact customer service and say, hey, we had a video out from a US citizen. She got no import taxes on her order. Why am I getting import taxes on my order? I live in the US. Don't know. If you're offshore from the mainland, maybe if you're in Hawaii or the US Virgin Islands or something like that, you maybe might, or if like you're in Alaska, you maybe might have import taxes. So don't freak if you do see them. Just contact customer service and say, why me? Okay? All right. I thought that's a good way to start. So I have a few things to show you. I only have, well, I had a couple of other things, but I opened them and they were too big to open kind of like on camera. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing my best to cover the glare on the TV. I opened up the microwave and I thought, well, seeing the light in the microwave is a lot less annoying, at least to me, than seeing that reflective glare in it. I was going to take a different position in the house this morning, but unfortunately my battery on my computer was pretty much drained and I have to work with it being plugged into the desk. So here we are. I have my new Temu top on today, the one with the grommets on it. And I will tell you, it runs big. I could have gotten a size smaller because this is kind of hanging on me. I will adjust it a little bit. And it is long and comfortable. It almost, if I wasn't this tall, I could wear this as a sundress, saying. So I love it. But I do have shorts on underneath it. And I have my Temu coffee cup. Okay, guys, let's get into this box. And then we'll get into everything else. This got delivered yesterday. What's that old saying? A day late and a dollar short. Well, This was not $1 short, but you can see the box was damaged, so I don't know what we're going to find inside. But we're going to get this thing open. Now, this did come from a local warehouse, and I did pay the $2.99 shipping on it. But this was the least expensive vendor of everyone that was selling this item. I missed the end. Oh, it's crunched. So I didn't mind paying the $2.99 shipping on it. You know, you have to do the math. You have to kind of figure out what's worth it for you. Because this particular item is only through local vendor. I have never, even when Direct Ship, even well, before Direct Ship had stopped, I had never seen this item from anybody else. This, oh my gosh. Anything left in the back? No. This is a garden bench. It's a kneeler and a seat. It gives you all the instructions on it. I love this shade of green. It even comes with a little tool bag, which I'll show you in detail in a minute. It folds, literally opens that easy, and it locks into place. So this way, it's a kneeler. Roll it over, and it's a seat. Cool, right? 2-in-1. It has a release peg right here. There's a little bar in here. If you push this bar in, that's how you fold the legs down. Let me see if I can grab it because it's tight. I can't do it with it up in the air. But anyway, this is solid. These legs are not coming in at all. They're very, see how they're wider on the bottom? So it gives good support. When you're kneeling on it, this cushion here, this is about, well, there's metal in between. You can see the metal in between the cushions. All right, that's all metal. It's not just a strip, it's solid. So that's your kneeling portion or your sitting portion. I like that. And it's about chair height. I'm going to measure how high it is off the floor to the seat, just so that you know. From the floor to the top of the seat is 17.5 inches. So it's about like sitting on a toilet. That same height. All right. Yeah. I don't know why it came a day late after I had done so much stuff outside. I love what comes with this. This just slides right over the top bar. Let me show it to you first. It has little pockets. It has 3 mesh pockets up on the top, and then it has loops here. Okay, so these mesh pockets go all the way down in case you have something tall that you want to go through or something you want to hook on. And then you have back pocket and a front pocket. Same thing over here, a front pocket and a back pocket. Now this slides over. So if I'm sitting on this thing, this slides over the bar on the end that easily. I did it one-handed. And it holds all your garden tools right there handy so they're not laying all over the place. And you can just take it off like this when you fold this down and put it away and your garden tools stay on it. Loving that, guys. This is a great deal. I didn't write, I don't know if I wrote the price on the box. I don't think I did. I think it was about 14 bucks. I'll put the price up here. But yeah, I love it. It's great. So very, very easy. It shows you how to squeeze that bar in order to close the legs. And you don't have to worry, your hands are not going to get pinched in there. But it's very tight, very secure. It folds down completely flat. You saw the size of the box it came out of. Don't really need any super instructions with that. Yeah, I could have used this the past couple of days. But it came literally the very next morning, and I'm not talking late in the day. It came like 9 o'clock in the morning. Hmm. Oh, well. Okay. Let me check my list of things we have to go over because I did have other products and I'm going to show you what I have, but because I had to open it, kind of make use of it, I got myself through local warehouse. I think they call it a zero gravity chair. And I'll put pictures up here for you. Came in this huge box, which is one of the big boxes I had on the porch. And unfortunately, because I still had all those big storage bins from packing taking up the porch, I had to wait. Well, yesterday morning, all those bins were adopted. Some of them were adopted by staff here to use in their workroom or their storage room, and others were adopted by a couple of my neighbors that they needed for whatever. So all those storage bins are finally gone. So I opened this big box. In this big box was that zero gravity chair. And you can see in the picture here that it comes with a tray. Its tray is not pre-attached, and that's one of the things I liked about it, because I can put the tray on either side of the chair, depending if somebody's left-handed or right-handed or where the chair happens to be positioned. You're not stuck having that thing attached to the chair and having it get in the way if you have to fold down the chair and put it away. Comes with a nice headrest pillow on it, which is on with Velcro, so you can move it up and down. I like to have it right at the back of my neck, so that it kind of like supports that way when I do kind of that kind of thing. But here's the chair. It matches beautifully with the glider. I did give it a test sit, and I pulled it out far enough so that I could recline to the level that I was used to. And boy, it's comfortable. I had a chair just like this back in Arizona, which I left for the person who bought my home. And I can't tell you how many times I would sit out in that chair just to get fresh air and I'd fall asleep because it was that comfortable. So I love that it matches perfectly. The metal on this chair, there's no plastic on the chair except for the tray. The metal on this chair is black. But because the metal on the glider is such a dark brown, you actually can't tell that they're not set, that they're not the same color. So for right now, I just have a tub in between the two, but I'm going to go out into the shed and I'm going to dig out my camping table that you saw, my little round table with the three legs. Oh, my nose is so itchy today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to dig out my camping table and I'm going to use that as a little table between the two seats. So I actually got to use um, someone, and I'll tell you in a minute, I actually got to let someone sit in that chair and use it. And we sat down on that porch for probably an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and just chatted, just talked about everything, talked about Levi, talked about the house, just had a great conversation. She was so comfortable in the chair. I asked her, I said, "You're the first person to sit in this chair for any length of time. What do you think?" She says, "It's comfortable. I could stay in the chair." So I was really, really happy with that purchase. So those are the two big things that I got. I do have two more orders coming in the next couple of days. They were local warehouse, but one of them was over $30, so I didn't have to pay any of the shipping and obviously no import taxes. And the other one, I did have to pay the $2.99 shipping. I think I did. I had to pay the $2.99 shipping. But again, I'm not worried about it because of the value. So I have those two orders coming, and I have at least another order coming from AliExpress still. So yes, I'll be shopping more TEMU now that I've shared that news with you. Of course, I'm going to jump on it, right? All right. Those are the two products. Let's find out what's been going on just around the corner since Sunday. Now, I did a video for you Saturday, and then I surprised you on Sunday. And I can't tell you how many people all of a sudden are going, "Send it to me." and just totally, you guys are coming out of the woodwork, and I love it. I am so happy that I decided to send this package out early. It's just, you guys have hung with me. You've been patient. You've waited. Um, I just couldn't see making you guys wait any longer. It's, you know what? I know there's at least 5,000 people out there that are watching my video. They just haven't subscribed. And that's okay. A lot of people don't understand that subscription is free and, it's not a lifetime commitment, so to speak. It's not like when you're subscribing to a magazine, you have to pay so much every month. I don't charge you guys anything, right? Okay. So what did I do? Well, the first thing I did was I did the garden plants, the garden beds, excuse me. As you saw in the last video, I had started assembling these beds. Now, these beds came in a 2-pack, and it was a 2-pack of each bed being 4 feet long, foot high, and 2 feet wide. But that was not going to work for me because of the area where I wanted to put it to cover that pipe. So I had to get inventive. So in these pictures that I put up, you're going to see that the first thing I had to do was I had to kind of like lay my 4x4s down and frame the area around the pipe, because with the pipe being above ground, I would have to cut like a semicircle at the end of one of these things, these beds, in order to have it fit over the pipe. But I didn't want to do that. So what I did instead is I used the wood to frame to get where the garden bed would sit above the pipe, and I wouldn't have to do any cutting. But I needed longer than 4 feet. I actually needed 6 feet just to cover the curve in the pipe to get beyond that turn. So what I did is, instead of putting together 2 4-foot beds, I made a 6-foot bed and a 2-foot round bed out of all the pieces that I had. No pieces left over, nothing wasted, didn't have to cut anything. So all I did was, because I had prepared the ends, the round parts and the ends and a couple of sides, all I did, instead of putting 2 sides, each 4-foot one had 3 corners, 3 on the corners, 2 solid panels on each side to give it that 4-foot length. Well, I put 4 panels on each side and then used the round pieces on the end. So I used 8 panels, which gave me 4 feet this way, and then another 2 feet as it made the curve. So I made a 6-foot bed. Well, that left me with the end pieces that would have gone on if I hadn't connected these. And those 6 end pieces made a perfect circle. So I ended up with 2 garden beds, one completely covering the majority of the the pipe, and the other sitting in front of the pipe. So I then proceeded to fill them, and the bottom, about 3 inches on the bottom of each, is the gravel for drainage. And the big bed does sit up on the 4x4s. I literally made a 4x4 frame to hold this thing up, and then filled that frame with gravel so that everything is supported by the gravel and by the wood. It's not touching the pipe at all. So it got a couple of inches of gravel, and then it got about 6 inches of pine needles and little scrap twigs and things like that put into it. And it will get soil the rest of the way on top so that I can plant the watermelon in the 6-foot bed. The round bed, everything was leveled. The round bed was also leveled, put in its spot and leveled. It's got 3 inches of gravel in the bottom. It's got about maybe another 3 to 4 inches of the pine needles. And then on top, it's got a mixture of garden soil and potting soil with a little bit of peat moss thrown in. So that makes it a good hardy soil. A lot of people use compost, but I have found in smaller containers, compost can be a little overpowering and maybe even a little too acidic for certain plants and certain vegetables. So I try to stay away from it. So I use the combination potting soil, garden soil, and yes, I use the Miracle Grow products. I will throw them out there. And then a little bit of the peat moss. and I mix it in. It makes a nice, dark, rich, actually black kind of soil. And the round one, I've got a sweet red pepper plant and put it right in the center. And in the 24 hours since I planted it, this thing just went boop, and it just opened right up. It's got a little trellis over the top of it to help guide it and keep it sturdy as it grows. And I think it's about a 2.5, 3 foot trellis. And I think that's high enough. If it needs more, I can, add more to it. So one bed is done. The other bed is almost done. I was really happy about how the garden beds came out. And spot in the middle between them where you were seeing the pipe. When I went out to pick up the soil and other things yesterday, this plant caught my eye. It's bright, vibrant, orange, and the way the stems under the flowers were, it was very, very unique. I'd never seen anything like it. And of course, I said, you know what? I looked at the tag on it. This plant will grow about 2 feet wide and 2 feet high, and that's the maximum it ever gets. And that's perfect for that spot. I won't even have to really trim it. And because of the type of flower it is, it will attract pollinators, bees and whatnot, that I need the pollinators for the veggies. So, of course, I had to get it. It's called a firecracker plant. It has another name. I think it's called orange marmalade. I had to look down on my list to remember. It's called orange marmalade or a firecracker flower. I love the way it blooms because it starts on the top, and those little spiky things on the stem you see are actually petals, and they'll eventually open up, and it makes a stack. It doesn't make a spire, but it just makes like stacked petals in this bright orange color. Absolutely love it. Perfect size for that. So the only thing that I have left to do out there, other than finish adding the soil to the big bin, getting the watermelon planted, is I have to paint what you can see, what's left of the pipe. And I'm going to paint that brown because, as you notice, these garden beds are dark brown. I didn't want to get cheapy aluminum looking stuff. They're dark brown. I'm going to paint the pipe that you see the same color as the house, is a dark brown. And I think that pipe will just kind of disappear. So when you're looking down between the house and the shed, or you're walking between the house and the shed, and you come down and see it, that white pipe doesn't smack you in the face, so to speak. You don't see it. Your eye is drawn to that orange bush. It's drawn to the planters. And of course, just beyond the 6-foot planter is where I planted the tomato plants, and they are growing beautifully. No problems like I had in Arizona. Everything here is taking off. All right. I'm saying everything. So are you ready for this? Now, I told you I'm taking weekly pictures. So every Wednesday, it's been 2 weeks now, since I planted the giant Musifolia canas at the front of the house. The first week when I planted them, they were really tiny. They were like a quarter of an inch. This past Wednesday, a week ago today, I showed you a picture, and I'll show it to you again. They're all pretty much about the same height, but I just took the one in front that's easiest for me to get to. That one had already grown to 2 inches in its first week. I took a picture this morning. That same cana, since last Wednesday, has gone from 2 inches to 7.5 inches tall. 5.5 inches it's grown in a week. That is almost an inch a day. It's like 3/4 of an inch a day. Now I'm starting to understand how these things can reach full height or blooming height within 3 months. Because at this rate, in 30 days, it'll be 30 inches tall or 36 inches tall. By the end of this month, I anticipate this thing will be, my guess, at least 2 feet. It's a 7.5 inches now. It's grown 5.5 inches in a week. In a week. Oh my word. So I planted 5 of these. 4 of them are growing beautifully. One hasn't really started to sprout anything yet. I don't know if it will. It might not. I'm just going to leave it alone. Let Mother Nature take its course. The bulb, the tuber that these things come out of, they all seem to be good, healthy, and strong, but for some odd reason, that one is in the center at the back. It is getting a little bit less light than everyone else does, but I'm holding out hope. It might, and if I don't have that one in the middle, that's fine. I've got 2 on either side, 2 in the front. The azalea bushes are starting to get new blooms on them, which is wonderful. It means they've gotten over their transplant shock. And I went and did this. I picked up mulch yesterday and I mulched the little side garden next to the stairs where the regular canna are growing. I put the mulch down there, and then I put the mulch across the front where the giant cannas and the azaleas are growing. And I added the little solar lights. I'd gotten a set of those 12 solar lights. The ones that were working, I added 5 lights to the front, and I put 3 little lights next to the pathway one. So I got that done. Um, that was kind of fun. I love gardening. I don't know why. I just love gardening. I love making the area around my home pretty, nice to look at. And everybody does. When they go by, they're all like head snapping or doing a double take and just smiling. And when the people walk through the neighborhood, they look over and say, "Oh, look, she got that done," or "She got this done." And it's like everybody is enjoying what I'm doing, which is very encouraging to me. It tells me that I'm like on the right track with getting these things done. So I got that done. Then, mm, hold on. As if that wasn't enough, I put the step lights on. And you all saw the little step lights. They were little brown lights with a solar thing on top. I put those on the front steps, and they lit nicely. And I did notice that they're kind of motion censored, because last night when I just looked out the screen door, I could see a very soft glow coming from them. But the minute Levi and I started walking down the steps, they got brighter. So I wasn't expecting that from those little lamps. So that's a bonus. And I don't know why everything got so dark. Oh, clouds. That's why. So it was a bonus to know that they maintained a low level of light, but they got brighter with a little bit of motion. I'm definitely gonna order another set of those. That's on my list to get because I want a set for the back steps. Yeah, it was good. And then those cute little puppy dogs, not puppy dogs, the puppy dog lights, the paw lights. I did put those into the little clover patch garden that's at the back of the house, and I'll put a picture up here for this. And anytime you guys, by the way, if the pictures aren't staying up as long as you want them to, just pause the video so you can look a little bit longer at it. You won't miss anything if you pause it, right? So just give it a quick pause. But I got that done. So I have a few things on the agenda for today. Not a lot. All those extra signs that I got from the front porch, I'm going to try to get those up today. It's kind of overcast, cloudy. I don't know if it'll burn off. We have like a 20-25% chance of rain again today. So I did not go out and water this morning because everything was wet. We got a little bit of rain last night. So Mother Nature has been taking care of the gardens. And if we don't get a lot of rain, or maybe we haven't had rain in like 10-12 hours, I like to go out where I'm growing the grass, water that twice a day. I like to make sure that I water the vegetables, the plantings, the bushes and whatnot, at least once a day, if not twice a day. but they get a light watering. The cannas love water. So this is the perfect place for them. The azaleas and the firecracker bush also love water, but not quite as much. So I have to soak one area and spritz another. But it's okay. It's working out well. All right. Let's talk a little bit more. There is some news I want to give you. I'm saving the best thing though for last. So you got to hang on if you want to hear the really good news. All right. Seriously, you just have to wait. In my last video, one of you guys had mentioned that seniors can get 50% off the Prime membership fee. Well, yes and no. If you're a senior, which means 65 and older, Prime does offer a 50% membership if you are enrolled in some sort of a government program. In other words, if your income is that low that you qualify for SNAP, which is Nutrition Assistance Program, or what we used to call food stamps, or if you're enrolled in a low income where you get WIC, Women's Infants and Children's Services, or let's say you're getting some sort of extra medical assistance to pay for, you're in a program, what they call extra help, that Medicare offers their extra help program. So if you're enrolled in certain government programs, and it does give you a list, right, then yes, that would qualify you as a senior to get that discount. But not every senior is entitled to the discount. And I'll tell you why. Not every senior is struggling on their income. Not every senior is, their income is not taken up by big medical expenses or other expenses, or it's not so low that they can't afford, anything beyond maybe their shelter expenses and their food expenses. There are a lot of seniors out there, and you all know, a lot of seniors out there that are living quite comfortably. They have their savings, they have their retirement, maybe they're married, so they have two incomes coming into the household from Social Security. They just are, I don't want to say financially secured, but they're not financially impoverished, right? So whether it's because they had investments or maybe they have a good retirement policy from where they used to work, some seniors are living comfortably and their income does not warrant them needing any kind of assistance. They're doing great on their own 2 feet. I don't qualify for assistance because my income ratio to my expense ratio, I have 75% income available to me after expenses. As much as I would like to have a discount, my income does not put me in a position where I would qualify for one or where I would actually need one. So wanting one and needing one are very different things. So one of the things though that you can do is you can contact Prime customer service. And what you can do, and I did this, and I think a couple of my other viewers mentioned that they had done this. You contact Prime or you contact Amazon and you say, look, I'm not enrolled in a government program, but I would very much like to have a senior discount because of low income. Now, you may be one of those people that's kind of like on the edge, that, well, you can afford what you're doing, but not much else. So having a discount would help, especially like if you do Amazon Fresh, which is like their grocery center or whatever the case may be. So it would help to have some sort of a senior discount based on an income sliding scale. That is what I requested. And the girl I talked to, she goes, oh my God, that's such a great idea. And I'm sure somebody else has mentioned that, but of course she's going to say that, right? So what I told her, I said, look, there are a lot of seniors out there that their only income is their Social Security. that they don't get a retirement benefit, or maybe, they might have worked, but they didn't work 30 years for the same company, so they don't have that benefit. They only have their Social Security and whatever they might have in their savings. Prime is so expensive that even if those of us in my financial position, and I'm going to call myself median, all right, I'm not broke, but I'm not living the high life, right? I'm true middle class retired. Even if they were to say, okay, those on the government program, you get it for $6.99 or $7.99 a month, as opposed to the $14.99, or let's just say $15 that it is now. Well, let's say in the middle of the road, people like me could get Prime for $10, $9, or $10 a month, that we get a discount on it. If we don't ask, if we don't advocate for ourselves, companies like Amazon don't really know how much their consumers need. They're just, if we keep shopping and we're not signing up for Prime, either they, I don't know, maybe they figure we have money to throw away and we don't need Prime, or it's not getting through their head that Prime has gotten too expensive. But keep in mind, Prime is what gives everybody free shipping. So if you're ordering a lot from Amazon, then that $15 a month for Prime is probably worth it. When I was ordering a lot from Amazon, it was worth it for me, right? Because I was ordering things for me. I was ordering mom's necessities, that she would need, toiletries and things like that. I was ordering all that, paper products. Everything was coming from Prime. So it was beneficial to pay that $15. It's not beneficial now. But if we call and we ask, hey, would Prime please, can you escalate this to the powers that be? Could Prime please consider working with seniors on a sliding scale? If you're a senior, your income is, say, I don't know, under 30,000 a year, but you're not on a government program, then you get a 30% discount off of Prime, or a 25% discount off of Prime. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us would jump at that, right? That's just my thinking. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But either way, hey, if you qualify, if you're on a government program and you qualify, go get it. All right, go get it, because it's not hard. The enrollment process is very, very easy. You can do it over the phone with a rep, or you can do it online if you're comfortable with the computer and whatnot, or you can have somebody help you do it online. So go get your 50% off Prime if you're enrolled in the government programs. Okay? All right. I did have a video call with Mom on Sunday, but the news I'm about to share with you didn't occur until yesterday, so even Mama does not know about this yet. Today is Wednesday, so I will be calling her and giving her the good news, but I thought I would share this with you. Are you ready? I'm not sure you are. Are you ready? I mean, this is really good news. I found a sitter for Levi. I found, after interviewing several people, I found a wonderful young lady who has experience with doggy daycare. She walks several of the dogs here in my community, everything from big, high energy dogs to little tiny dogs. She herself has a pit bull, so she understands pit bulls and the babies they are. Levi took to her instantly. He was all over her like white on rice. He followed her every place she went. We put the leash on him, and I gave her the leash, and he walked with her. He kept looking back to make sure I was there, because that's his training. Being a service dog, he can't get that far from me when he knows I'm there. But he walked with her. He behaved beautifully for her. He gave her kisses. He just ran around like he was all excited. He was just a little puppy. He went kind of crazy. So she's local, which is good. As I said, she comes into this community on a regular basis to walk other dogs. She has agreed to live right here in my tiny home. She's going to stay here 24/7, other than when she obviously has to go Even talked about she has some flexibility where she works. She could take a couple of days off and just give all her attention to Levi and spoil him, or she could shorten her shifts. That's up to her. I did talk about in detail. We spent several hours, about 2 hours together, and she's the one who tested out the lounge chair, the zero gravity chair. So she was the first person to sit in it. She is just an amazing young lady. Um, I love everything about her. You can tell how her upbringing is. She has a new vehicle, so she has responsible transportation. She uses the exact same vet that Levi goes to and knows them personally. She takes her pit bull to the same vet. And these vets, this young lady works at a local restaurant, and these vets actually go to her restaurant to dine. So there's a relationship there already. So if something should come up and she has to take Levi in for an emergency visit, she knows where she's going. She knows the vets. She knows the routine there. And the vets know Levi. So this is a win-win situation. Uh, so now that I know that I have that, I will start making my arrangements, and it will be early June. The reason being is, number one, I have to communicate with some people in Arizona regarding my accommodations and transportation and whatnot. And I have to find out what is the best availability. Flights on the weekend are absolutely outrageous, and flights during the week are much more affordable. So if I can go down on a week, say Tuesday through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that would be ideal. So I'd be looking into different flight schedules. I've already started looking into accommodations. I've had some friends offer for me to stay with them, but for me to stay with them also means mom coming there. And yes, she knows these people, but to me, that's a big ask of my friends, for them to have to open their homes to me and mom for that day and a half or whatever that I'm going to actually be visiting with her. So I'm looking into an Airbnb or maybe a nicer hotel that's in the vicinity. I'm looking into, do I need to rent a car, or is transportation going to be doable by one of my friends who has offered to do the transportation? So I have some logistics to do. So I've looked at the dates, and she and I sat down and we figured out the dates that would work for her, because she will be traveling. She does have to go away for a little bit. Um, as much as I'd like to take off next week and go see mom, that's a schedule that won't work for her. And I'm just so excited that I found someone reputable and responsible and a true animal lover that is just willing to do this for Levi and I, and willing to do it repeatedly if it works out this time. She knows how to do the medications. Um, there isn't anything that I have any red flags about, right? So this is like the best news ever. I haven't told mom yet. I'm going to tell her. I'm going to call her this morning. I'll call her around 11:30 my time, which will be like 9:30 her time, and I'll let her know. And I'll also let her know approximately when I'm shooting for to come in. Um, yeah, I've been smiling nonstop since last night, thinking that this is just, they say all good things are worth waiting for. And it's been a long wait trying to find someone that I trust, even to the point that I was almost ready to consider boarding Levi at the vets. I had contacted the vet and asked them when I could come down and tour their boarding facilities just in case. And it wasn't an hour later that I heard from this young lady. Yeah. So there's the good news. I get to go see Mama, which means you will get to see Mama, because, of course, Mom and I make memories when we're together. And it, we might, we're not going to do a video for you guys, but I do want to record some of the time that we spend together, and Mama's beautiful face, and listening to her sing again, and just being able to give her hugs and hold her hand and just see that smile and watch her light up. That's all stuff that I want for memories, and I want to have that I can look back on. And you see, I've got my Connie's Little Corner Sunday with Mama on. Somehow her Sunday with Mama cap ended up in my stuff when I packed, so I'll be bringing that to her when I go, which will be a surprise. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the news. That's what's been going on just around the corner. That's what's been going on with TEMU. That's what's been going on with what you can do with Prime. Little bit of product here. As I said, I do have more orders coming, but now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go shop TEMU Direct and get some orders in while I can, right? And I know you're going to be doing the same thing. So if you liked this video and you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share it, get it out into the universe. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, come on, get on, subscribe, because we always have the news for you. I always have the updates. And yeah, you'd be missing out if you're not subscribed. Oh, and hit that notification bell, because when you're a subscriber here, you get notified every time I do something, and you get in on that goodie box. If you comment, send it to me. Okay? All right. Stay hydrated. Above all else, stay sweet, please. Please. And I'll catch you soon, just around the corner, with more of something. Bye.